Have you ever felt lost? Like you have finished your studies, you have done everything you were supposed to do, but the success you dreamed of just isn't there. You see your friends getting job, moving forward, and you feel stuck. If that sounds like you, then you need to hear this story. It's the story of a young man who was jobless, broke, and about to get kicked off his own apartment. Society would have called him a failure, but today he is the founder of a company worth billions. This is the story of Brian Chesky and how he started Airbnb from nothing. Let's go back to 2007. Brian Chesky and his friend Joe Gabbia just graduated from a top design school. They moved to San Francisco with big dreams, but the reality was brutal. They had no job, no money, and soon they couldn't even afford their rent. They were in a really bad situation and the pressure was huge. But you know what? We all have been there. That feeling in your stomach when you know you need to make money, but you don't know how. If you have ever felt lost or stuck after finishing your school or college, then let us know in the comment sections. Now back to the story. At the same time, a big conference, a design conference was happening at the San Francisco. Because of this, every single hotel was completely sold out. People were desperate to find a place to stay at least. Brian looked at his empty apartment, he looked at the rent notice on the door, he saw a problem for himself and he saw a problem for all the visitors with nowhere to sleep. And that's when a simple but almost a crazy idea popped up in his mind. The big idea wasn't some complicated tech plan, it was super simple. Brian and Joe had some space in their living room and 3 air mattresses. They thought, what if we just rent out our floor space? They simply made a simple website and called it Airbed and Breakfast. They promised a place to sleep and a breakfast in the morning. It sounded weird, right? I mean, who would pay to sleep on air mattress in a stranger's house? But 3 people actually did and they paid $80 a night. And just like that, the first version of Airbnb was born. But this was just the beginning of the struggle. For months, their office was their living room. They worked all day and all night, but the biggest problem was that nobody wanted to invest in their idea. Investors told them this is a crazy idea and it will never work. They were rejected again and again. Let's say you are in a similar situation. Now, I want you to pause for a moment and think, what's the biggest thing that is stopping you from starting your project? Is it money or fear of failure? You don't have a good idea or you just don't have time? What is that? Let us know in the comment section. So at that time, they were so broke. They had to do something extreme to make money. And luckily, it was the 2008 US election season. So they designed and sold their own breakfast cereals called Obama O's and Cap'n McCain's. And I'm not joking. They were selling cereals to fund their multi-million-dollar idea. And this shows their never giving up attitude. When one door closes, you don't just wait. You find another way in, even if that way is selling cereals. Their big breakthrough came when they got accepted into famous startup program called Y Combinator. The founder, Paul Graham, was impressed. He said if they could convince people buy their cereal boxes, then they could probably convince them to sleep on air beds. That program gave them a small amount of money, but most importantly, it gave them belief and guidance. They learned to focus on creating a beautiful and trustworthy experience for their users. And slowly, word started to spread. People loved the idea of staying in unique houses and connecting with locals. So this idea wasn't so crazy after all. Today, Airbnb is a global company worth billions. It has completely changed how we travel. And it all started because 2 guys couldn't pay their rent and had 3 air mattresses. So what is the lesson for you? Here, Brian Chesky's story teaches us that biggest struggles can lead to your greatest ideas. The moment when you feel like a failure are often the moments when you are closest to your breakthrough. Maybe you are feeling stuck right now. Maybe you have been rejected from a job or your own idea isn't working out. That's okay. That rejection, that feeling of failure is not the end of your story. It's just a chapter. Don't wait for the perfect idea or someone to give you the permission. Look at the problems around you. What can you solve even in a small way? Your journey doesn't have to look like anyone else. Start small, start from your room, because the truth is, success is not about avoiding failure. It's about what you do after you fail. It's about having the courage to try something crazy. I hope this story inspired you. If it did, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comments below what's one crazy idea that you have. I would love to read them. Thank you for watching and remember, your story is still being written.